Hello, my name is Christine Seyfried. I am the Department Director for the Human Services and Rent Stabilization Department. I'm very pleased to be with you here tonight. With me are Tariq Carter, our Human Services Manager, and Gloria Aviles, who is a supervisor in the Rent Stabilization Division. The Human Services and Rent Stabilization Department is pretty much the heart of the city. We provide essential services to the city of West Hollywood in the arena of rent stabilization, enforcing the city's rent stabilization ordinance, and making sure that tenants and landlords have a forum to deliver safe housing for residents. Our Human Services Division provides social services programming and homelessness services to our community. They run a very extensive program of contracted services as well as events and other programs. The department has a budget of approximately $30 million, and we have a staff of 29 people. And so those are split pretty evenly between the two divisions. And with that, I'd like to turn things over to Tariq Carter.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tariq Carter, and I'm the Human Services Manager. Thank you all for being here this evening. Today, we are here to discuss the Human Services Division and what I like to call the heart of West Hollywood. We provide social services and support well-being in the community. So this is a little snapshot of what we do in the community. And what we do is more of a holistic approach around supporting the community with funded contracted services. We currently support or fund about $8 million in social service contracts, which includes a various number of services. We also lead the city's homelessness and strategy and outreach support for our community. We serve people who not only live in West Hollywood, but also those who study in West Hollywood, work in West Hollywood, or those who experience homelessness in the city. Our goal is to advance equitable access to health, housing, and supportive services in the community. The city has a list of, well, what you see here is a list of our priority populations. These are our core populations that we focus on when we're providing our services to the community. They represent the most vulnerable community members. And as you can see from this list, these are community members who are historically underrepresented or underfunded in terms of services and support. Of course, it includes the LGBTQ plus community and older adults. We also support immigrants and refugees, people who experience homelessness, and people living with disabilities. We have 6 core service areas. So with our over almost 40 contracts that we fund in the city, they can be divided into a suite of 4 core service areas, which include homelessness services, aging in place, mental health, LGBTQ+, food and nutrition, and substance use. It's important to know that with the community, people don't often receive services in just one category. It's often spread out between multiple categories. So someone who is experiencing homelessness could also be someone who is receiving mental health support within the community, or maybe substance use treatment. We deliver our services through a suite of contracted providers. As I mentioned earlier, we have about 40 of them. They are mostly nonprofit organizations. They come to the city and provide the city these services to community members free of charge. These services are available, again, to folks who not only live here, but also work here, go to school here, or experience homelessness in the city. As I mentioned, the city works with a lot of different contracted providers. We have almost 40 contracted providers that we work with in the city, and they provide these services directly to our community members. We have program administrators within the Human Services Division, and their responsibility is to monitor those contracts to make sure that our providers are meeting the expectations of the community, they are meeting their goals, and that they're fiscally responsible. Our program monitors go out and do site visits with the community providers. They make sure that they are meeting the needs of the folks that we serve, and that they are creating a safe space for our community members to receive their services. We also work very closely with other departments within the city, such as public safety. We also work with rent stabilization and other departments that really play a key role in ensuring that we deliver our services and that we are supportive of the needs and responsive to the needs of the community. The next few slides, I'd like to highlight some of the services that we provide in the city. Homeless services is one of our major core areas of service that we provide in the city. And some of you may be familiar with some of the services that we provide with our street outreach. We have both HIA and CARE team, and they provide street outreach to the unhoused community. That could be anywhere from providing referral services to case management. We can also do mobile mental health and medical treatment and substance use treatment as well. We also provide emergency shelter assistance, interim housing, and permanent housing. I am going to show a video now of Holloway Interim Housing. This is a program, first of its kind in the city of West Hollywood, providing interim housing support to the unhoused community. It opened in October.
A service that's offered by the city to provide interim housing to those individuals experiencing homelessness in our community.
People will have an opportunity to access beds and support to find a new pathway forward in their life.
A former motel that's been converted into 20 individual rooms to get our unhoused neighbors off the streets. And they'll have case management, healthcare, financial literacy, and it'll be a springboard to permanent housing.
There's occupational therapy here, there's group support services, therapy, substance use, recovery support.
Once they are in the Holloway, they'll be receiving services designed to help them stabilize, transition from interim housing into permanent housing, thereby ending their homelessness in West Hollywood.
This project is basically a renovation project of an existing building that was built in 1951. It's been right here on Santa Monica Boulevard in West Hollywood as a motel up until just a couple of years ago. And then basically the city bought this project for this use, the interim housing.
The program is very important right now because we saw that the unhoused community numbers have gone up, and we need to help. We need to do something. We need to be part of the solution.
I'm a neighbor to this. I live less than a block away, so I understand how important this program is and how significant an investment it is from the community. I'm glad that it's here. I'm glad that we are doing something tangible. We can't solve the homeless problem by simply complaining about it. We have to provide resources. We have to make sure that we're doing what needs to be done to get people off of the street and into permanent shelter.
We could not be successful the way we have been in the jurisdictions that we cover if it wasn't for the community support. So we highly encourage West Hollywood community residents to get involved.
The Holloway Interim Housing is opening doors and expanding opportunities. We're here in West Hollywood building pathways out of homelessness, one room at a time.
As you can see, the Holloway Interim Housing Program is kind of the pride and glory of the city at the moment. We're able to help the most chronically unhoused individuals, the folks who have been living on the streets for a very long time, get the supportive services they need, mental health support, case management support. They get 3 meals a day. They have somewhere safe to lay their head every night. And it really shows the city's commitment to long-term stability for the community that needs it the most. As mentioned, the city provides street-based interventions. So these are folks that we can call day or night, 24/7, 365, if we need to provide support to either folks who are unhoused or even people who are housed within the city who are experiencing a mental health crisis. Healthcare in Action is our mobile street-based medical team. They can provide mental health support and also medication management and clinical support. They actually go out into the community and meet people where they are. The care team responds to both the unhoused and in-housed community, and they respond with non-emergency concerns around mental health support. They also provide connection to other social services, and they are used, both of these, but especially the care team, are used in lieu of calling 911 or calling law enforcement. It's a way for us to support the community in a way that's more culturally responsive and meets people's needs. Another service category that Human Services supports is around sexual health and harm reduction services. We provide an array of harm reduction and sexual health services to the people of the city, which includes HIV and STI testing, prevention and education. We have PrEP and PEP services, syringe exchange. We also help folks who are for substance use disorder. And coming soon, we will also have community health hubs. They are similar to harm reduction vending machines, or vending machines where we're able to dispense not only harm reduction materials, but also sexual health and other healthcare items in a vending machine directly to folks in the community. The city has known that the need to provide, especially harm reduction services, is critical in this day. And so we have Narcan available to the community, either through one of our providers, or also we have a provider who actually mail them out to folks in the community as well. So if anyone needs that type of support, we have that available free of charge. The city also provides mental health support through our contracted services. We have crisis and counseling support, psychiatric care and case management. We also have supportive services that are specifically tailored to the LGBTQ plus community, as we recognize that they may have different experiences and need a different type of care. And that also extends not only to the unhoused community, but the community of folks who are housed as well. We recognize that there are gaps in the county in terms of being able to provide mental health support services to folks who are either low income or otherwise cannot afford to receive mental health support. And so the city fills in the gaps by being able to provide these services free of charge to anyone who we consider to be a community member.
I have a question. Can you share some traits or demographics of the people receiving homeless services?
The traits and demographics of people receiving homeless services really runs the gamut. You actually you could find that information in our end of the year social services report that we publish the January every year. So in January 2026, we just published our 2025 results, and you'd be able to see the demographics of the folks who receive social services more broadly, but also homelessness services specifically. And that's available to the public and is readily available online.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The city also understands that food insecurity is a big problem within the city. And so we have food and nutrition programs that are there to support the community and fill the gaps. We not only have food pantries, we also have food delivery for people who need medically tailored food. We also have two food distributions weekly within the city, as well as congregate dining for our older adults. We support not only the unhoused community, but also those who are low income or otherwise vulnerable. This ensures that they can receive access to healthy and reliable food. Aging in place programs are also a big component of the work that we do in the city. We help older adults remain healthy, connected, and independent in their homes. Our goal is to make sure that older adults don't experience loneliness. They're able to connect with their community. They have the food and nutrition they need to thrive. And so we provide services such as case management, transportation, and social connections programs. We also provide in-home support. Not only does that mean having a nurse or someone come into the home, we're actually able to retrofit or provide services to retrofit homes. If someone needs handlebars in their showers, or they need some other accommodations in their homes, we have our providers who actually come out, do an assessment, and be able to provide those supportive needs in the homes of those individuals free of charge. So one of the ways that we are able to do the work that we do is because of the strong support we have from the Human Services Commission. They help us guide our social services strategies year over year. The Human Services Commission helps to advise us on what the community needs. They're experts of the community, experts in the various categories of services. And so they're able to help support and guide us and give us information on what would be the best ways to support the community. They also help to participate in our RFP process. So when we are soliciting new contractors to come to the city to provide supportive services, they help with that RFP process and the selection process as well. They also help to guide the development of different programs that we have within the city and to be advocates for our programs and to spread the word of our programs to other places in the community and to other commissions as well. The Human Services Commission is comprised of people who are appointed by City Council, and they represent a diverse expertise. There are folks in healthcare, social work, also have folks who have lived experience who can really share their expertise and experience in working with or working for social service programs. So here's just a picture of our team. And just to sum everything up, Human Services is not just about helping the unhoused, or it's not just about helping the folks who you see on the street. It's really about the suite of services that we have for everyone in the community. There's literally a program for everyone. Thank you again. My name is Tariq Carter, and I hope that you've learned a lot about the city's Human Services program and the social services that we provide to the people who live, work, go to school, or experience homelessness in this city. Any questions? Yes.
How many contract service providers are there, and where can we find a list of them?
We have almost 40 contracted service providers that work in the city, and you can find the list of all of them on the Human Services website, which is weho.org/humanservices.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Also, what percentage of the unhoused are just down on their luck, and what percentage have substance abuse issues or could be considered dangerous?
I think by down on your luck, you mean, or I'm interpreting that to mean folks who are chronically unhoused. And the majority of the services that we provide for homelessness services are for the folks who are chronically unhoused. So people who have been living on the streets for a significant amount of time. Those are the people that you see day to day. And those are the people who we support within the Holloway Interim Housing Program as well. And so the majority of our programming for the unhoused community is centered around those chronically unhoused. However, there are a silent group of folks who remain unseen, or folks who may have just lost their jobs recently, or there's some other health concerns that have put them in a position where they no longer have housing. Those folks are usually, although a smaller group, they're also people that we support. They're typically easier to place. They have case management support, and we have housing navigation. So we're able to very quickly get them back into some sort of housing. And so it really, while the majority of the folks that we serve or we support are chronically unhoused, we do support all unhoused people.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Gloria, you're up.
Now introducing Gloria Villas, Supervisor for Rent Stabilization.
Great. Hi, good evening. My name is Gloria Villas. I am the supervisor for the Rent Stabilization Division. The Rent Stabilization Ordinance became law on June 27, 1985, becoming a vital component of the city's core value to protect the quality of residential life. Our Rent Stabilization Ordinance covers three components. One is maintenance standards, eviction protections, and rent increases. Maintenance standards is the city provides a process through which tenants may request a decrease in rent for a loss of a housing service or lack of required maintenance. Property owners may request an increase for added housing services or based on net operating income. Both tenants and property owners may request confirmation of maximum allowable rents. Our eviction protections, thankfully, the rent stabilization ordinance restricts evictions to just cause, including not paying rent or causing a nuisance. Just cause must be the primary reason. Rent increases, property owners may increase rent by the amount of the annual general adjustment once every 12 months. The annual general adjustment is updated on September 1st of every year by 75% of the annual change in the May Consumer Price Index for all urban consumers in the Los Angeles, Long Beach, Anaheim area, rounded to the nearest quarter percent. Currently, the approved AGA is 2.25%. As you can see, the rent stabilization ordinance administers the rent stabilization program and assists property owners and tenants in understanding their rights and responsibilities under the rent stabilization ordinance and rent regulations. The primary responsibility of the division is to address inquiries presented at the front counter via phone, emails, and virtual appointments. The above charts indicate who contacts the division and the most common issues that the division provides information for. As you notice, 37% of our contacts are landlords, 59% are tenants, and one of the most common issues that are brought up are housing, lease issues, maintenance, evictions, and other rent questions. The division also deals with the hearings and appeals. Hearings, a tenant may request a hearing if they believe an owner has removed or substantially reduced a housing service or failed to perform required building maintenance. An owner may request a hearing to add a new service. Hearings are before an independent examiner who reviews the evidence and issues a determination. The process may also be used to determine the maximum allowable rent and whether the landlord has retained rent in excess of the MAR. Mediation attempts are made to resolve most rent adjustment applications prior to scheduling a hearing. Many problems can be solved through communication with a neutral third party. Mediation is confidential, voluntary, and requires parties who will bargain in good faith. The mediator does not tell parties what to do, but rather helps identify and create mutually beneficial solutions. Some of the issues referred to the mediator include lack of unit or building maintenance, parking removal, pets, roommates, and temporary relocation when tenants must move out of their unit due to fire, fumigation, or lack of habitability. We also have appeals. A priority of the Rent Stabilization Commission is hearing appeals of the hearing examiner decisions. A tenant or property owner may appeal a decision on any application based on one of three reasons: that the appellant believes the decision was made in error, is not reasonably supported by the evidence, or in some way violates the RSO. The Rent Stabilization Commission provides a forum for tenants and property owners to appeal decisions issued by the hearing examiner concerning rents, property maintenance, housing services, and other important landlord-tenant issues. The Commission also reviews the city's rent regulations to propose appropriate changes to better implement and enforce the law. The general public may attend these meetings and provide input during the allotted time to public comments. The Inclusionary Housing Program is a program that requires 20% of new residential development to be deed restricted for lower and moderate households, or in certain instances, the developer may pay an in lieu fee. Fees are collected in the city's Affordable Housing Trust, and is used to subsidize new 100% affordable apartment buildings or rehab programs. Question.
Who maintains the investigative power on inclusionary housing to ensure that those 20% of units remain affordable, and how is that monitored after the units are built?
So as new development is brought in through the development review process, we have a program administrator that is ensuring that 20% of that build out will be dedicated to inclusionary housing. If the developer decides not to include inclusionary housing, then she also verifies that in lieu fee is paid and put into the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Once the units are built, as part of the development process as well, there are deed restrictions on the property that are recorded with the property. A development agreement will then have the inclusionary housing requirements. And then once the units are built, then we are required to house those units by applicants on our wait list. And on a yearly basis, we recertify both the tenants in these units as well as owners of the properties to ensure that they are complying with the program requirements.
Great, thank you.
The city oversees approximately 500 inclusionary units, actually, and then approximately 10 to 15 units are added yearly. The city does maintain an affordable housing wait list, which is currently closed to new applicants. We do have rental assistance resources, the Alliance for Housing and Healing, National Council of Jewish Women, as well as Jewish Free Loan Association. These numbers you can call, and they will provide you with rental assistance in situations where you've received a 3-day notice or any sort of eviction. We also have local and partner resources for tenants' rights and free legal assistance. We've got the Housing Rights Center, Bethesda Legal Services, and the Coalition for Economic Survival. If you have any questions or require further assistance, please contact us. We do answer the phone, and that is our information on the screen. Yes, another question.
Yes. How do the amount of our eviction protections compare to other cities?
Thankfully, the city has a good portion of protections in comparison to other cities. I think it's because of the city's incorporation in 1984. It was one of their core values, and they continue to provide these tenant protections. We continually review our protections to see if there's anything that we can revise or include, even as legislation comes through on a yearly basis.
Thank you. And then one last question. Before tenants move into a unit, who is responsible for inspecting the unit? It's been getting cold, so to find out that a heater is not working after moving into a new unit would be an issue for me.
We're hopeful that landlords are actually providing units prior to move-in a habitable condition. Thankfully, there are a couple of state laws that have passed through. One was last year that landlords are required to take pictures of the unit before the tenant moves in, and that's correlated to the security deposit. And most recently, this January, there's a new law in place that requires a landlord to provide a stove and refrigerator. If after a tenant moves into a unit, they feel that there may be things that are missing, or for example, if they don't have heat, they can feel free to contact us, and we could refer them over to code enforcement so that they can investigate, or we can provide services or refer them over to social services that can give them some temporary assistance as well until the matter is resolved.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you everyone for being here with us tonight. In conclusion, it has been a real pleasure to introduce you to the Human Services and Rent Stabilization Department. You can find more information about us on our website, www.weho.org, by calling either our Rent Stabilization Division hotline, by calling our Human Services Division hotline, or by coming into City Hall and coming to our public counters. So with that, we appreciate your time and we look forward to working with you. Thank you.